Okay, well, hi everybody.
Selamat pagi saudara semuanya, apa kabar?
It's wonderful to be back here among you all.
Ya, saya sangat bersyukur saya bisa datang kembali ke Bali bertemu dengan saudara.
Some familiar faces and some people I do not know.
Ya, banyak wajah yang dikenal dan juga banyak wajah yang baru.
But my name is Cherry and I'm one of the pastoral staff at Hepburn Heights in Perth, Australia.
Nama beliau adalah Pastor Cherry Schroeder, salah satu pendeta di City Hepburn High.
And this is family.
Ya, kita semua adalah satu keluarga.
And I'm here often and love when I am here.
Ya, saya sangat mengasihi kalian semua dan saya sangat senang ada di Bali.
With old friends and new friends.
Iya, teman baru dan teman lama.
So this morning we're going to start off a series.
Jadi pagi ini kita kembali melanjutkan seri yang sudah dimulai sebelumnya.
That Pastor Fraser and I are going to take alternate weeks.
Ya, di mana Pastor Fraser dan juga Pastor Cherry akan terus melanjutkan.
And he started off last week with a great overview, setting the foundation for our series.
Ya, di mana Pastor Fraser minggu lalu sudah menekankan dasar yang untuk kita bangun di minggu berikut ini.
And our series is based on Matthew 4:19.
Ya, dari Matius 4 ayat 19.
Jesus' words,
Kata Yesus,
"Follow me,
mari ikutlah aku,
and I will make you fishers of men."
dan aku akan menjadikan engkau penjala manusia.
Follow me,
Ikutlah
I will
aku,
make you
dan aku akan menjadikanmu
fishers of men.
penjala manusia.
And we're going to be looking at this verse in all its aspects over the next few weeks.
Kita akan melihat di ayat ini nanti untuk kita ikuti terus minggu berikutnya.
Before we start, we're going to watch a video now which depicts this verse.
Jadi sebelum kita dengar khotbah, kita akan melihat video singkat.
And this was taken from the Chosen series. How many of you are familiar with The Chosen?
Iya, ini dari film
Yeah,
The Chosen.
Absolutely. A series I really recommend watching. It's as real as any film can be, and it's been put together by some trained, highly regarded ministers and theologians.
Ya, jadi film ini sesuai dengan teori di Alkitab dan juga disusun oleh para ahli teologi.
So, are we set? Yep, let's watch the
Okay,
video
kita.
then, thanks.
Put that down for a catch. A little farther out.
I don't have a quarrel with you, teacher. We've been doing this all night. Nothing. All right. That's your word.
I told you.
I told you! I told you!
The boat, it's still get out! Need to get out!
My brother and the baptizer. You are the Lamb of God, yes?
I am.
Depart from me. I am a sinful man. You don't know who I am and the things I've done.
Don't be afraid, Simon.
I'm sorry. We've waited for you for so long, we believe. But my faith, I'm sorry.
Lift up your head, fisherman.
What do you want from me? Anything you ask, I will do.
Follow me.
I will.
Rabbi. You as well. Yes, you, James and John. Come, follow me.
I'll take the fish into market and settle up Simon's debt. I'll get some help to fill both of these boats.
Are you sure?
Yes, go!
What will you tell Ima?
We've just been called by the man we prayed for our entire lives. And you ask me, what will I say when you miss supper? Go, now!
So, you sure you don't want to do this just a few more times? Well, we'll make a great team on the boat. Joking.
Fish are nothing. You have much bigger things ahead of you, Simon, son of Jonah. Did you understand that parable I told earlier? From now on, I will make you fishers of men. And you are to gather as many as possible, all kinds. I will sort them out later.
Gather as many as possible,
Iya.
and I'll sort them out later.
Iya, dibilang mari kita cari semua manusia, bahkan Tuhan Yesus yang akan sortir itu.
And Jesus' call is still the same today.
Dan panggilan Yesus buat kita sampai saat ini masih sama.
He says to us, follow me,
Dia berkata, ikutlah aku.
I will make you
Aku akan menjadikanmu
fishers of men.
penjala manusia.
He's calling us today.
Iya, Tuhan memanggil kita hari ini,
Follow me.
ikutlah aku.
Follow me, I'm going to transform you.
Ikutlah aku dan aku akan mengubahkan kehidupanmu.
Follow me, I want to make you into disciples who will share your faith wherever you are.
Ikutlah aku dan aku akan menjadikan engkau murid yang membagikan imanmu.
Where you will see countless people coming to know me and I'll sort them out later.
Iya, ketika engkau melihat banyak orang datang mengikut aku dan aku akan memilih mereka.
Jesus' words are still the same to us today.
Firman Tuhan masih sama kepada kita hari ini.
And I know that there's some of you here that have been following that call for decades.
Ya, mungkin banyak dari saudara yang sudah mengikut Tuhan lebih dari puluhan
Maybe at
tahun.
times more closely than others.
Mungkin ada yang lebih baru-baru mengikut Yesus.
And there may be some of you here that are deciding whether or not to follow this Jesus that you've heard about.
Atau mungkin saudara baru memutuskan, aku mau mengikut Tuhan atau enggak ya.
And others of you may be challenged today that you're following but at a great distance.
Iya, mungkin saudara hari ini juga tertantang mau mengikut Tuhan tapi masih dari jarak jauh aja.
That you're finding it hard to leave behind old habits and ways of doing things.
Karena mungkin saudara masih menemukan, sangat susah aku melepaskan kebiasaan lamaku.
and surrender to Jesus' call of follow me.
Dan aku belum bisa untuk menyerahkan hidupku terhadap panggilan Tuhan.
Come to know me intimately
Tapi kata Tuhan, mari datanglah, kenali aku lebih dekat.
and hear my voice above all other voices.
Dan dengar suaraku melebihi suara yang lain.
So my message today is really simple.
Hari ini pesan saya sangat sederhana.
I just want to take a look at how we respond to Jesus' call to follow.
Tapi saya mau kita berespon bagaimana panggilan Tuhan untuk kita mengikut dia.
That word follow means to pursue, obey, or to actually come in behind.
Kata ikut artinya adalah mengejar, taat dan juga
Follow
juga-
behind or come behind.
mengikuti.
Yeah, so I want to ask us, when we're following somebody as followers of Jesus, if we're following him, how are we listening for his voice?
Nah, jadi kalau kita mengikut dia, bagaimana kita mendengar suaranya?
How are we hearing that call to follow?
Bagaimana kita cara mendengarkan suaranya untuk kita bisa ikut dengan dia?
Which voices are speaking the loudest in our ears?
Suara apa yang berbicara lebih keras di telinga saudara?
See, some of the voices can be so-called influencers that maybe we follow on social media.
Beberapa suara mungkin adalah suara influencer yang kita follow di sosial media.
The music we listen to, the books we read,
Musik yang kita dengar, buku yang kita baca,
the things we watch or scroll through,
sesuatu yang kita lihat atau yang kita scrolling di handphone,
negative voices from people in our past or even in our current world,
suara negatif di masa lalu kita ataupun pada saat ini,
or the voice of the enemy who continually wants to deceive and intimidate us.
atau suara dari musuh atau setan yang terus membisikkan kita untuk mengintimidasi kita atas
Who
kesalahan dan
plants doubt and fear in our minds,
karena iblis itu menanamkan kebohongan dan ketakutan di pikiran kita.
and he often questions us as he did to Eve in the Garden of Eden. Did God really say that?
Karena dia juga terus menaruh pertanyaan di pikiran kita sama seperti dia lakukan pada Hawa, apakah benar Allah memanggil?
Do you really want to listen to God's voice?
Apakah kau mendengar suara Tuhan?
Or are we going to follow Jesus' voice?
Atau kita mau mendengar suara Yesus?
Because in our lives, one voice is always going to emerge more dominant than the other.
Karena banyak suara dalam kehidupan kita, ada suatu suara yang akan dominan dalam pikiran dan kehidupan kita.
And it's going to impact our thoughts, our actions, and how we live.
Karena suara yang dominan itu akan mengimpartasi ke pikiran dan juga tingkah laku kita.
Depending on which voice we give priority to.
Tergantung bagaimana kita memberi prioritas pada suara yang kita ikutin.
I don't know about you, but I find it can be so easy to drown out the other voice, the voice of Jesus, with other voices in my world.
Kadang sangat mudah kita ketika kita udah mendengar suara Yesus tapi tenggelam karena ada suara-suara lain yang berbicara lebih keras dalam kehidupan
There
kita.
are a lot of things that call for our attention,
Terlalu banyak hal di dunia ini yang mencuri perhatian kita.
and they can drown out the call to follow Jesus,
Sehingga menghilangkan perhatian kita untuk mengikut Tuhan.
to be transformed,
Supaya kita berubah.
to let him make us into his disciples and being disciple makers.
Karena Tuhan pengen kita menjadi pengikutnya yaitu muridnya.
In John 10, Jesus tells us he is the good shepherd
Di
who
Yohanes-
knows us.
Di Yohanes 10 dikatakan kalau Tuhan adalah gembala yang baik dan dia mengenal kita domba-dombanya.
And he tells us that we are his sheep and we are to listen and follow him because we recognize his voice.
Dikatakan di Yohanes 10 bahwa kita adalah domba-dombanya, dia memanggil kita dan kita mendengar karena kita mengenal suaranya.
So it is possible to recognize the voice of Jesus over the voice of strangers and other voices in our lives.
Iya, kita bisa mengenali mana yang suara Yesus, suara orang lain atau suara orang asing.
Verse 27 of that same chapter, Jesus states, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me."
Yohanes 10 ayat 27 dikatakan, domba-dombaku mengenal suaraku, aku mengenal mereka dan mereka mengikut aku.
My sheep listen to my voice.
Dombaku mendengarkan suaraku.
Okay, who knows that there's a difference between hearing something and actually listening?
Iya. Apa bedanya dengar dan mendengarkan?
I'm sure that most of you could remember when you've been asked to do something by maybe your parents or a coach or a friend.
Saya percaya ketika saudara pasti akan ingat ketika seseorang saudara dengar apa yang disuruh oleh orang tua maupun pelatih saudara.
And then when we get told off for not doing what they've asked us, we say, "Oh, I didn't hear you."
Iya, ketika disuruh untuk dilakukan, mungkin kita bisa, oh aku nggak dengar yang kamu
Few-
bilang.
A few wives nodding their heads there. Sorry, guys. I didn't hear you. So we heard, but in Western world, we can say it goes in one ear and straight through the other ear.
Yeah.
Straight through.
In Indonesia we also have that. Keluar
Do we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Masuk kanan, keluar kiri kayak gitu.
Who's guilty of that one? Yeah. We all are, aren't we? We heard it. We heard what was being asked of us, but we weren't listening.
Iya, kita dengar apa yang diminta, tapi kita tidak mendengarkan atau melakukan yang diminta.
Hearing is just a sound that comes into our ears,
Jadi dengar itu hanya adalah ada suara yang masuk ke telinga kita.
but listening is different.
Mendengarkan atau melakukan itu beda
It's
lagi.
an active process and it's actually a skill.
Jadi listening atau mendengarkan tuh proses skill untuk taat.
Which requires us to actually use our brains to receive that message.
Yang membutuhkan otak kita untuk mentranslate pesan tersebut.
Yep. Now, some of us are probably better at that than others.
Iya, mungkin beberapa orang mau dengar tapi tidak mendengarkan.
As a child, I always got told off for talking too much and not listening enough.
Waktu kecil saya dimarahin orang tua saya, kamu terlalu baik bicara tapi nggak mendengarkan.
So follow me.
Ikutlah aku.
I can hear the words,
Saya bisa dengar suaranya,
but am I really listening to understand what Jesus is saying to me specifically?
apakah saya mendengarkan dengan baik untuk apa yang Yesus katakan spesifik bagi saya?
See, the follow me call is unique to each one of us.
Ya, jadi panggilan untuk mengikut Yesus adalah unik bagi setiap orang.
Jesus knows each one of you individually.
Ya, jadi Tuhan tuh mengenal setiap kita secara individu.
And while there are some things he calls us to that are common to all believers,
Jadi ketika dia panggil semua orang percaya,
his call to mission is designed specifically for each one of us.
iya, ketika dia memanggil kita untuk melakukan misi, itu berbeda untuk setiap orang.
It's not one blanket pattern.
Ya, jadi bukan kayak sekumpulan orang, tapi ada personal.
And it always requires surrender on our part.
Dan dibutuhkan untuk kita berserah diri.
We saw with the disciples, the biggest catch of their lives, and they had to turn their backs on it to follow Jesus.
Sama seperti murid-murid yang tadi kita tonton, di mana ketika dia menangkap ikan yang banyak, tapi dia harus meninggalkan itu, seperti yang Pastor Fraser bilang minggu lalu, meninggalkan kenyamanan karena banyaknya tangkapan itu, tapi mengikut Tuhan.
And over the years, I've responded to that call many times, as I'm sure many of you have also.
Ya, dalam kehidupan saya yang sudah berumur 70 tahun sekian, banyak panggilan Tuhan dalam kehidupan saya yang saya harus ikutin sama seperti saudara.
But that's because it goes back to the very first time I felt the call to follow.
Saya masih ingat ketika pertama kali saya mendengar suara Tuhan untuk ingin mengikut dia.
At 12 years of age, I was standing on the deck of a ship
Umur 12 tahun saya berdiri di dek kapal
with my dad, who had just completed 2 years of Bible college in Adelaide.
dengan bapak saya yang baru saya menyelesaikan sekolah teologi 2 tahun di Adelaide.
And we were actually heading back to New Zealand, where my mum and dad were taking up their first pastorate.
Di mana keluarga kami menuju ke New Zealand untuk merintis sebuah gereja.
And as we watched Australia disappear into the distance, I felt these words come into my heart.
Setelah kapal kami menjauh dari Australia, saya mendengar suara ini dari hati saya.
And I turned to Dad and I said, I think God just spoke to me.
Dan saya bilang ke bapak saya rasa Tuhan berbicara kepada saya.
and said that I would be back in Australia by the time I was 18 to go to Bible college.
Saya akan kembali ke Australia waktu saya umur 18 tahun untuk ke sekolah Alkitab.
Now, those words weren't loud, and he didn't specifically say, "Follow me,"
Iya, suara itu tidak keras dan tidak berkata spesifik ikut aku,
but it was an invitation to follow Jesus' call on my life.
tapi itu adalah undangan untuk saya mengikuti Yesus dalam kehidupan saya.
And then fast forward through the next 6 years,
6 tahun kemudian,
and I was in a job that I loved.
saya sedang bekerja di pekerjaan yang sangat saya sukai.
I was playing the piano in church and helping Dad run the youth ministry,
Saya pelayanan piano dan juga melakukan youth service.
teaching Sunday school, and I loved what I was doing.
Ya, mengajar sekolah minggu dan saya sangat suka melakukan hal itu.
And as I continued, the call to Australia got fainter.
Iya, jadi saya mulai kehilangan suara untuk pergi ke Australia.
I made excuses as to why I couldn't go and why I was so indispensable.
Iya, jadi kenapa saya harus pergi dan saya sangat terhilang panggilan itu karena kesibukan saya.
In my mind, they couldn't do without me.
Saya berpikir gereja itu nggak bisa jalan tanpa saya.
And my mother said to me one day, Ched was my nickname, Ched, no one is indispensable in God's kingdom.
Iya, jadi suatu hari ibu saya memanggil saya Cherry, Ched. Tidak ada satu orang pun di dunia ini yang tidak tergantikan.
The most important thing is that you follow God's call on your life.
Yang terpenting adalah ikuti panggilan Tuhan dalam hidupmu.
And I was a bit like, yeah.
Ya, saya iya.
But again, I was sitting in my office one day.
Suatu hari saya duduk di kantor saya.
I had just turned 18 and the call to Australia was very much fading into the distance.
Waktu itu saya baru sudah masuk umur 18 tahun dan panggilan untuk Australia itu kelihatannya sangat jauh.
But the Lord spoke again.
Tapi Tuhan berbicara lagi kepada saya.
And this time he spoke and said, "Who do you love more, me or your job?"
Dan saya dengar suara, siapa yang paling kamu kasihi, saya atau pekerjaanmu?
And I started to cry and I rang my father and I said, "Make arrangements. I'm going to Bible college next year."
Iya, waktu itu saya langsung menangis dan saya menelpon bapak saya bilang, tolong daftarkan saya ke sekolah Alkitab tahun depan.
I think Dad nearly fell off his chair.
Mungkin bapak saya kaget.
But at 18 and a half, I left my family and my church and friends, and guess what? They all survived without me.
Iya, umur 18,5 tahun saya akhirnya ke Australia dan lihat gereja itu bertahan tanpa saya.
And I moved to Australia for a 2-year college course.
Dan saya 2 tahun mengambil sekolah teologi.
3 months later, my boss died.
3 bulan kemudian bos tempat saya bekerja meninggal.
The business closed and my great job, which I had used as one of the excuses why I shouldn't go to Australia.
Dan juga tempat saya bekerja 3 bulan kemudian bangkrut, di mana saya pakai itu sebagai alasan.
It didn't exist anymore.
Sebagai alasan tidak ke Australia dan bahkan sudah hilang, nggak
And
ada
that
lagi.
profoundly changed my life
Dan hal tersebut mengubah kehidupan saya
about following Jesus.
tentang mengikut Yesus.
I remember sitting there crying when I received that news
Saya ingat waktu mendengar kabar itu saya menangis
as I learned a valuable lesson
dan saya mendapatkan pelajaran berharga.
that Jesus knew my future far better than I did.
Yesus tahu masa depan saya melebihi siapapun.
And that to follow him was the best choice that I could make.
Mengikut dia adalah pilihan terbaik dalam kehidupan saya yang saya pernah buat.
I could trust him that he was going to look after me.
Saya bisa mempercayakan hidup saya kepada Tuhan kalau Tuhan bisa menjaga hidup
And I
saya.
could trust him that he held my future in his hands
Karena Tuhan punya masa depan saya di tangannya.
and had planned my future.
Dan dia merencanakan masa depan yang terbaik.
All he requires of us
Yang dia butuhkan dari kita adalah
is to trust him
percaya pada dia
by following him
dengan mengikut dia
and obeying.
dan taat.
Which Pastor Fraser addressed last week, the importance of obedience.
Minggu lalu Pastor Fraser juga ada menekankan untuk mengikut dia yang diperlukan adalah ketaatan.
The call to follow into discipleship comes not just out of hearing, but of listening, responding, and obeying.
Ya, jadi dalam mengikut Yesus bukan hanya sekedar mengikut tapi juga ada mendengarkan, merespon dan juga taat.
So whatever Jesus is calling us to do, that is our response. Yes, Lord.
Apapun Yesus yang minta kita lakukan, itu adalah respon kita. Ya Tuhan, aku mau ikut Engkau.
And some of you might be wondering, well, how does Jesus speak today to me? How can I be sure it's his voice I'm listening to?
Mungkin saudara bertanya, gimana saya bisa dengar suara Tuhan? Bagaimana saya tahu itu panggilan Tuhan?
And I've found there's many, many ways that he speaks to us.
Saya menemukan banyak cara Tuhan untuk berbicara kepada kita anak-anaknya.
Mostly he speaks to me through this,
Semua kebanyakan berbicara melalui firman Tuhan atau Alkitab.
the precious word of God, his word.
Firman Tuhan.
Maybe sometimes through the voice of a friend or a preacher.
Mungkin suara dari teman atau seorang pengkhotbah.
Maybe someone gives you a prophetic word.
Atau mungkin ada buatan ketika engkau didoakan.
Sometimes it's through a song.
Kadang melalui lagu.
Sometimes it's just as you're walking through nature.
Atau mungkin ketika engkau berjalan di alam.
Sometimes it's just a random thought that comes into your head.
Atau kadang mungkin Roh Kudus itu memberikan pemikiran di kepala saudara.
And it's actually not random, it's Holy Spirit reminding us to do something.
Roh Kudus mengingatkan kita untuk melakukan sesuatu.
Maybe pray for or encourage or visit or text somebody.
Misalnya Roh Kudus mengingatkan kita, oh pergi layani orang ini, doakan orang ini, WhatsApp orang ini.
And sometimes we will find that we listen to we call it a check in our spirit.
Ya kadang kita juga namanya mendengarkan atau mengecek dengan roh kita.
Yeah, it's an uneasy feeling that something's not quite right.
Ya kadang ada perasaan yang Tuhan kasih, kok kayaknya aku nggak damai sejahtera ya dengan hal ini.
And maybe that's not the right voice to listen to.
Jadi kita harus cek benar nggak rasa tidak damai sejahtera itu benar dari Tuhan atau bukan.
Maybe that's not the right website to be on.
Atau ada perkataan yang mungkin nggak benar yang Tuhan ingatkan, jangan katakan itu.
Maybe that's not the right person to follow.
Atau ada perkataan Tuhan, jangan ikutin orang yang nggak benar.
I often quote my son's advice. Pastor Jay says 3 ways to check you're listening to God's voice.
Anak saya Pastor Jason Schroeder ada 3 hal yang dia bilang bagaimana kita mengecek suara Tuhan.
Through prayer.
1 melalui doa.
Have you really prayed about what you're feeling, you're hearing, and asked for clarity?
Jadi apa yang sudah kita dengar itu kita doakan, benar nggak ini dari Tuhan.
The Bible again.
Yang kedua lagi dari Alkitab.
Does what you're feeling to do or feel you're hearing align with biblical truth and values?
Apakah yang saya dengar dan yang mau saya lakukan sesuai dengan kebenaran firman Tuhan?
Or is it contradicting what the Bible says?
Atau bertentangan dengan firman Tuhan?
And thirdly, wise counsel.
Yang ketiga, nasihat dari pemimpin rohani.
Now this is not talking to your best friend who will agree with you anyway.
Iya, mencari nasihat bukan dengan best friend. Kalau best friend kan iya betul gitu.
This is talking to someone who's more mature, more wiser, more advanced in the faith than you.
Iya, mencari nasihat itu adalah mencari kepada orang yang lebih dewasa rohani atau pemimpin yang kita anggap dia cukup bijaksana.
So prayer, Bible, wise counsel.
Berdoa, Alkitab dan juga mencari nasihat.
3 ways to check whether what you're hearing and the voice that's speaking to you is God or not.
Ya, 3 hal untuk mengecek apakah benar ini suara Tuhan atau enggak.
Is it the good shepherd's voice?
Apakah ini suara gembala yang baik?
Remember our verse, the good shepherd says that his sheep recognize and know his voice.
Dikatakan lagi tadi di Yohanes 10 bahwa akulah gembala yang baik, dombanya mengenal suara gembalanya.
Jesus wants us to recognize his voice.
Yesus ingin kita anak-anaknya mengenal suaranya.
But you know, it's not easy because not like the disciples who could see Jesus in the flesh.
Memang gak mudah karena kita bukan seperti di zaman dulu Yesus itu bisa dilihat oleh murid-muridnya.
We can't actually physically see him now.
Ya, secara fisik kita gak bisa melihat Tuhan sekarang.
It would be so much easier if I could just see Jesus here and walk up to him and ask him a question.
Iya, mungkin lebih mudah kalau Tuhan Yesus duduk sini, hal Tuhan. Ya, kan.
Or if he spoke to me and said, follow me.
Atau mungkin dia berbicara langsung nggak ada kita, ikut aku nak.
This is my mission for you.
Ini misiku untukmu.
How easy would that be?
Itu sangat mudah kalau kita bisa melihat secara fisik.
But the Christian life we live now, we live by faith.
Iya, karena kehidupan Kristenan kita adalah hidup oleh iman.
Faith in the Son of God who loved us and gave himself for us.
Iman karena kita percaya karena Tuhan mengasihi kita dan apa yang sudah dia lakukan di kayu salib.
And you know, we're not the only ones who struggle with not being able to see Jesus face to face.
Jadi bukan hanya kita yang bergumul untuk tidak bisa melihat Yesus secara tatap muka, secara fisik.
Sometimes it's easier to look at other people to follow.
Kadang kita bisa mudah untuk mengikuti orang lain yang kita bisa lihat.
And we see in the Bible that the Corinthian church had this problem after Jesus had died, was resurrected and went back to his Father.
Iya, pada zaman yang tertulis di Korintus ketika Yesus sudah mati dan bangkit, ini terjadi di jemaat Korintus.
They were divided and they were confused as to which leader they were going to follow.
Iya, mereka terpecah belah dan mereka bingung pemimpin mana yang harus saya ikutin.
And Paul had to try and sort them out.
Dan Paulus di sana berusaha menolong mereka.
And he said, hey, you guys, you need to agree and be united.
Dikatakan, saudara engkau harus setuju dan bersatu hati.
Because in 1 Corinthians 1:12,
Di 1 Korintus 1 ayat 12,
we see people were saying, I follow Paul. And another lot of people would say, well, I follow Apollos. And another lot of people would say, I follow Cephas, who was Peter. And some got it right and said, I follow Christ.
ya, dikatakan saya pengikut Paulus, yang lain berkata saya pengikut Apolos, saya pengikut Kefas, saya pengikut Kristus. Yang terakhir benar tuh.
I want to get it right.
Ya, saya mau pastikan kita semua adalah pengikut Kristus.
But you know, while we're on this earth, there are earthly leaders that we can look to. For example,
Ya, memang benar ketika kita hidup di dunia ini ada orang yang kita hormati sebagai pemimpin.
later in the book of Corinthians in chapter 11 verse 1, Paul actually says his mission was to lead people to Christ.
Di Korintus 11 dikatakan bahwa misinya Paulus adalah memimpin orang kepada Kristus.
And he encouraged the church then to follow his example as he followed Christ.
Kata Paulus di 1 Korintus 11 bahwa ikutlah teladanku karena aku pengikut Kristus.
So nothing has changed.
Tidak ada yang berubah.
God has appointed, called and gifted leaders to equip, to challenge, to call us to follow Christ.
Karena Tuhan menunjuk para pemimpin yang dengan karunia-Nya supaya kita bisa dibawa semakin serupa dengan Kristus.
And it's okay to follow their example.
Tidak apa kita mengikut teladan orang-orang percaya itu pemimpin kita.
But not because of their great leadership ability,
Bukan karena kemampuan kepemimpinan yang luar biasa.
their incredible skills,
Bukan karena skill yang hebat.
their mature age,
Bukan karena umurnya.
or how many degrees they have.
Atau pangkat dan jabatannya.
But we only can follow a person if they follow Christ.
Iya, tapi kita mengikut mereka, melihat teladan mereka di dalam iman mereka mengikut Kristus.
If they mirror his character and his nature.
Jika mereka mengikuti teladan Kristus.
People can let us down
Manusia bisa mengecewakan
and disappoint us.
dan menjatuhkan kita.
But the one thing we can be assured of, that Jesus never will.
Iya, tapi ingat saudara kalau Yesus tidak pernah mengecewakan kita.
Ultimately, he's the only one who is worth following.
Iya, jadi Yesuslah satu-satunya yang pantas kita ikutin.
And you know, that's not just today, but every day of our lives we hear the call, make a choice, are you going to follow me today?
Ya, jadi bukan hanya hari ini, tapi setiap hari kita bikin pilihan apakah aku mau mengikuti Tuhan dengan sungguh-sungguh.
It's a lifelong journey of learning.
Adalah pelajaran seumur hidup.
And as we learn that we can trust Jesus to lead the way.
Kita belajar untuk percaya kalau Tuhanlah yang akan menunjukkan jalan.
And we follow the one who described himself as the way.
Kita mengikuti Yesus yang mengatakan, akulah jalan,
He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
akulah jalan dan kebenaran dan kehidupan.
I am the one and only way maker.
Karena akulah pembuka jalan.
I am the Alpha and I am the Omega.
Saya adalah Alfa dan Omega.
I see the beginning from the end.
Akulah yang awal dan yang akhir.
And you know what? I proved that so many times in my life.
Saya sudah membuktikan selama kehidupan saya,
After following Jesus for most of my 70 years,
selama ikuti Tuhan sampai saya berumur 70 tahun sekian,
I can tell you guys today that the best choice you can ever make is to listen and obey when He calls.
hal yang terbaik yang bisa saudara lakukan adalah mendengarkan dan taat dengan panggilan Tuhan.
To be the type of people who can also say, follow me because I follow Christ.
Ada juga orang yang berkata, ikutinlah aku karena aku mengikuti Yesus.
So that people in your world can look at you and know there's something different about you.
Jadi banyak orang di sekitar kita yang belum kenal Tuhan bisa melihat, oh ada yang berbeda dari orang tersebut karena ada yang mengikuti Yesus.
And you can say, it's because I follow Jesus.
Kita bisa saksikan iman kita dan berkata, karena aku mengikuti Yesus.
You know, I've learned that it takes training to hear His voice.
Saya mempelajari bahwa butuh latihan untuk mendengar suaranya.
We learn this over our lifetimes.
Kita mempelajari ini seumur hidup.
And it means we're going to make mistakes.
Kadang kita membuat
It
kesalahan.
means sometimes we're going to miss it.
Mungkin kadang kita kehilangan hal tersebut atau missed it, ya.
It'll mean repenting when we don't listen,
Iya, tapi yang kita butuhkan adalah kita bertobat dari kesalahan kita.
when we don't follow,
Ketika kita tidak sungguh-sungguh
and we lose
mendengarkan.
our way a little bit.
Ketika kita melakukan kesalahan.
But I can tell you today that I've found it's always the best choice to respond, yes, Lord.
Tapi saya temukan ada respon yang terbaik kalau mau kita, ya Tuhan.
When He calls us to follow, we know Jesus has the plan of our lives.
Ketika Tuhan ingin kita mengikuti Dia, Tuhan pasti memberikan rencana yang terbaik.
When He called the disciples, He called them to send them out on mission.
Di sana di Alkitab dikatakan bahwa Yesus memanggil murid-muridnya untuk melakukan misi.
Follow me.
Ikut aku,
I'm going to transform you.
aku akan menjadikanmu.
I'm going to see your nature transformed,
Saya mau mengubahkan karakter aslimu,
your lifestyle transformed
gaya hidupmu.
as you follow me, and you are going to see many other lives transformed as well.
Dan kau akan melihat banyak kehidupan orang akan diubahkan.
He called them for a mission and a purpose.
Tuhan memanggil murid-muridnya untuk sebuah misi dan sebuah tujuan.
And that's what He says to us today.
Sama seperti untuk kita juga saat ini.
I have a mission,
Saya punya misi
I have a purpose.
dan tujuan untuk engkau.
For each one of your lives,
Untuk setiap kita di tempat ini.
I want to use you,
Aku mau memakai engkau,
despite the fact that you might feel you are not qualified.
terlepas dari kita berpikir, aku nggak layak Tuhan.
As you follow me,
Saat engkau mengikut aku,
I will transform you.
aku akan mengubahkan
I
engkau.
will do the work in
Aku
you
akan melakukan pekerjaanku
so that you
dalammu.
become my disciple
Sehingga engkau menjadi muridku.
and a disciple maker of others.
Dan juga memuridkan orang lain.
Is that our response today? Yes, Lord, I'm in.
Mari kita berespon, ya Tuhan, aku mau mengikut engkau.
Can we close our eyes?
Mari kita menutup mata kita.